Danny Flexon here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by unbeaten featherweight Nick Ball and his trainer Paul Stevenson. Guys, how you doing?
All good, Danny, you?
Very good, thanks.
Yeah, lovely, thanks, Dan.
Glad to hear it. We don't get Paul on the camera very often, so it's a rare treat. Rey Ford, coming off, in your case, the draw with Rey Vargas, mentally, have you kind of managed to get past that yet? The fact that most people felt that you deserved the win?
Yeah, definitely. Just get straight back in the gym and don't cry or complain about it or sulk. Yeah, just it is what it is. I can't change it. So straight back in the gym, and I've got this opportunity again. So I'm fully focused on that.
How frustrating is it for you, Paul, when you give a fighter a game plan, he executes it pretty perfectly, and you don't get the decision?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but like Nick said, we've just got to move on and just focus on this because it's a new challenge, and that's done. It was for the. Nick done great in that last contest against. It's the sign of a good fighter and a corner. If I do say so myself, that to be able to turn a fight around and to really make something new happen in there, Yeah, so he was brilliant. Full credit to Nick. He should be sitting there world champ, but now we're on this one, and that's it then.
How do you feel about the 5 versus 5 and coming straight back in after the draw with Vargas? That must have perked you right up.
Yeah, it is. It's all fuel to the fight, isn't it? Just on to the next fight. It's good. It's new. No one's seen this before in boxing, so it's good to be a part of it. But the main thing is focusing on a fight. So yeah, that's what's happening.
We spoke to Rey about half an hour ago. He said he really admires your mentality. He watched you against Vargas. He didn't say who he thought won, but I think he kind of implied that it was you. What do you admire about him, and what did you make of his win over Kolmatov?
The way he turned it around, I didn't really watch the full fight, but I watched the highlights or the first 5 rounds, and he turned it around, didn't he, and done what he had to do to get the job done, and now he's world champion. So yeah, I respect that.
He said he feels that he's a versatile fighter, but he's happy to sit in the pocket and exchange with you. What do you make of that?
Be interesting to see if that does happen. That'll be good because I won't be chasing him around the ring like I was in my last fight. So I look forward to it.
And now to both of you, although you felt you did enough to win the Vargas fight, and most people agree with you, were there areas in there you felt you could have improved on that we'll see against Rey? Yeah,
you're always improving, aren't you? You're always learning as well. Day in, day out, and even on the fights, you learn little bits, little things in the fights, what you can take from it and take into the next one, yeah. But every opponent's different, so you just have to adjust to that opponent and do what you do best.
What do you think, Paul? Anything Nick could have done more in that Vargas fight?
He's very tall, and I know he's listed on Box Deck at 5'10", but he's 6'1". My co-trainer, Anthony Humphreys, stood by him all week, and Andy's 6'1". He's the same height as Andy, 6'1". So it was always going to be tricky getting to him early on. That's just the way it was, and he's got a very he had flighty tactics. He ran a lot, didn't he? You know what I mean? But Nick, the plan was to get to him as best we can, cut the ring down, work him, tire him, and mop him up. And that's pretty much what happened. Nick won pretty much every round after the sixth onwards, and I thought he probably won one of the early ones as well. I thought he won the second and the sixth, and then pretty much everything on. Rocked the fella a couple of times, knocked him down twice, and nearly ran him out the ring. Since then, Nick's in the gym. Nick's gone up many levels. Right, that's just freed the man. He's a beast. Obviously, we've been training this morning. Got out early, went down to a gym in London, and we've been doing our work. And I felt lucky to get out of there alive. You know what I mean? He's smashing it. Looks great, and a much improved fighter on the back of it. So we're happy.
Before the Vargas fight, who did you rate higher? Obviously, Nick aside, between Vargas and Rey Ford?
To be honest, I was just focused because Rey Ford had only just won his title. So I was just focused on Vargas, and he'd done a good job, Rey Ford, beating that Kolmatov. But that Kolmatov had quite an amateurish southpaw style, and he was good, a good champion, a good fighter, but a completely different animal to Nick, So I back Nick against any featherweight in the world, I really do. And he's you don't see anything like that. But when you're looking at fighters and you're training fighters, I've been training fighters for over 25 years, and when you see something physically different like I do with Nick, and mentally as well, he's as cool as a cucumber, but he's physically he's a real animal. We have done a lot of sparring with welterweights and middleweights because the featherweights He just, he's too strong, you know what I mean? So I'd back him against anyone.
And Nick, Ray said earlier, because of your height, your only option against him is to come forward and apply constant pressure. Is he wrong?
Yeah, he's wrong. Yeah, all fighters, don't they? They say all things before the fight and what they're gonna do and what the or listen now or what they think. But it's a different story when you get in there. Yeah, people underestimate me boxing, so you'll find out when we get in there. Yeah.
Any disappointment on your side that in the opposite corner, albeit because of a world title shot, but it's not a Lee Wood or a Josh Warrington, one of those massive domestic clashes?
No, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just coming for the world title, and whoever it is, whoever got it, yeah, take it off them. That's the plan.
Would you like one of those guys down the line? I know you've talked about it previously.
Yeah, any of them really. Any of the top guys who they're speaking about or who's in my way, yeah, anyone.
What's the overall goal? Is it to unify at 126? Is it to go through the weights? I mean, I know people will talk about your height, but I'm sure you could at least go to super feather.
Yeah, I could do that, yeah. Yeah, just to be remembered as one of the great fighters, yeah, and fight anyone and move through the weights and become, world champion.
When you say one of the great fighters, is it one of Britain's best, Liverpool's best, worldwide? What's kind of the motivation?
Worldwide, yeah, definitely.
Who are your heroes, boxing-wise?
I used to watch Mike Tyson. Everyone says I've got a similar style to him. Yeah, that's what they're saying, aren't they? Yeah, Mike Tyson, I like his style. He's ruthless.
What about you, Paul? Who do you kind of think are some of the greater fighters of all time? And what does Nick need to do to be mentioned in the same breath as some of them?
The ones I like, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. Excuse me. I like watching Andy Armstrong, mate. I think he's a beast, and I like watching Roberto Duran, and we were watching last week, Nick. We were watching Edda Joffrey, weren't we?
Yeah.
Great bantamweight champion, and who else were we watching after that?
We watch that many, don't we?
Yeah. Anyway, quite a lot, and we're Nick's obviously learning from all these different styles and things, and the things that we're doing ourselves in the gym. But I think Nick's got the physical capabilities, obviously, to become world champion firstly, but then to have a long and really great reign as a featherweight. A beast for a featherweight. People say he's small. He's one of the biggest featherweights I've seen. He's a tank. And in the back in the featherweights now, fighters are a lot taller. It seems they skin themselves down. They think they have to, but the good fighters, Alvarez's, the people like Nick, the stocky, the strong, and they snap them skinny fighters in half. So. Yeah, it's us, yeah.
And Nick said there about the Mike Tyson comparisons, kind of an easy one to make, but you've got that breadth of boxing history to call upon. Who does he remind you of?
He reminds me of a little bit of Rocky Marciano in a way. Of his in his approach, in his style, in his that old David versus Goliath thing. You know what I mean? Like them big giant opponents he's in there with, and he's out jabbing them, he's out boxing them, he's out foxing them, he's clever. So yeah, he reminds me of The Rock, he reminds me of Tyson, and in the modern day he reminds me a bit of Gervonta Davis as well. There's a lot of different sorts of comparisons you could make with a lot of different fighters. I think he's very much his own man as well, you know what I mean, his own fighter. He's explosive, isn't he, and easy on the eye and exciting, fast-handed. He's a great fighter to work with as well. No one's more dedicated. Last night we went for a meal, post-fight thing. We got in about 12:30. Nick puts his boots on and goes out running. This morning he's ringing me, where are we training today at 9 a.m? We've gone and found a gym out in Camden. Yeah, so it's great to work with.
Just finally, because I've had the infamous tap on the shoulder, what happens on June the 1st in your fight with Rey Ford?
Nick Baldwin, yeah, become world champion.
Great stuff, really appreciate it.